The envelope arrives, thick and official. Inside is not a letter, but a document that looks more like a complex financial statement from a company you never invested in. It is your medical bill. A wave of confusion, and maybe even dread, washes over you. You see lists of codes, charges that seem impossibly high, and terms you have never heard before. It feels intentionally confusing, designed to make you feel small and overwhelmed. This feeling is not an accident. The American medical billing system is a labyrinth, a tangled web of private contracts, government rules, and institutional habits that has evolved over decades to serve everyone but the patient. It prioritizes transactions over transparency, leaving you to decipher a puzzle you were never given the rules for. This confusion, honestly, is a powerful tool. When you cannot understand something, you are less likely to question it. You might just pay the bill to make the stress go away. Hospitals and insurance companies, whether intentionally or not, benefit from this paralysis. The sheer complexity of the system, with its CPT codes, DRGs, and EOBs, creates a barrier between you and your own healthcare finances. It transforms a simple visit for a sore throat into a multi-page document of charges that bear little resemblance to the care you actually received. This is not how it should be. Healthcare is a service, not an arcane financial product. You have a right to understand exactly what you are paying for, just as you would with any other service you purchase. The stress is real and justified. A surprise medical bill can be financially devastating. It can derail savings, create debt, and add an immense psychological burden at a time when you are already vulnerable, recovering from an illness or injury. The numbers on the page often seem arbitrary. Why does an aspirin cost $20 in a hospital? Why is the charge for a simple blood test hundreds of dollars? These questions are not unreasonable. They are the logical response to a system that has become detached from common sense pricing. Your bewilderment is the first sign that something is wrong, not with you, but with the process itself. It's a signal that you need to look closer and start asking questions. But here is the most important thing to remember. That feeling of powerlessness is an illusion. The bill in your hand is not a final, unchangeable demand. It is a proposal. It is the opening offer in a negotiation you did not even know you were a part of. The system is complicated, yes, but it is not unbreakable. By learning how it works, you can find the weak points. You can spot the errors. You can push back. Understanding the journey your bill takes, from the doctor's office to your mailbox, is the first step in dismantling its power over you and reclaiming your own financial agency in your healthcare. Think of your visit to the doctor as a story. You describe your symptoms: a cough, a fever, a pain in your side. The doctor listens, examines you, and makes a diagnosis. They might order a test or prescribe a medication. Every single part of that story, from your initial complaint to the final treatment plan, must be translated into a secret language. This language is not made of words, but of codes. These alphanumeric codes are the foundation of the entire medical billing system. They are how the hospital or clinic tells the insurance company what they did for you, and therefore, what they should be paid. This translation process is where your care is converted into commerce. Two main sets of codes are used in this translation. The first is the International Classification of Diseases, or ICD codes. These codes represent your diagnosis. A simple cough might be coded as R05, while type 2 diabetes is E11. The second set is the Current Procedural Terminology, or CPT codes. These describe every service you received. A basic office visit has a code. A blood draw has a code. An X-ray has a code. Even the doctor spending an extra 15 minutes talking with you has a code. A professional medical coder, who works behind the scenes, reads your chart and assigns these codes to every aspect of your visit. Their job is to create a complete coded summary of your medical story. These codes are then handed off to another specialist, the medical biller. The biller's job is to attach a price to each of those CPT codes. This is where things get truly strange. The price is not based on the actual cost of the service. Instead, it comes from a master price list created by the hospital called a charge master. This list contains tens of thousands of items, each with an official and often wildly inflated price tag. A $5 bag of saline might be listed at $500. The biller enters these codes and charges into a claim form, which is the formal request for payment sent to your insurance company. Your personal story of being sick is now an itemized invoice of codes and prices. Your insurance company then receives this claim. They do not just pay it. They have their own teams of experts who review the codes. They check to see if the procedures were medically necessary for the diagnosis. They check if the services are covered under your specific plan. They compare the charges to the rates they have negotiated with that hospital or doctor, a rate that is almost always much lower than the charge master price. The insurer then decides how much they will pay, how much will be discounted as part of their agreement, and most importantly, how much you will be responsible for. This final piece is what eventually becomes the bill that lands in your mailbox. The journey of a medical bill is long and complex, resembling a factory assembly line with many different workers and stations. Understanding each step helps you see where things can go wrong. It all begins the moment you schedule your appointment. The first step is registration. When you check in, you provide your personal information and insurance details. A simple typo here, a misspelled name or incorrect policy number, can cause a claim to be denied instantly, sending the full undiscounted bill straight to you. This is the first potential point of failure, and it happens before you even see a doctor. The second and third steps happen during and after your visit, receiving care and medical coding. As we've discussed, everything the doctor does in diagnoses is recorded in your medical record. A professional coder then translates this narrative into ICD and CPT codes. This is a highly subjective step. A coder might choose a code for a simple procedure when a more complex one was performed. Undercoding or vice versa, upcoding. For example, a 15-minute consultation could be coded as a 30-minute one, doubling the charge. These subtle choices have enormous financial consequences for you and your insurer. Next, we move to steps 4, 5, and 6, charge entry, claim submission, and insurance adjudication. The medical biller takes the codes and enters them into the billing software, attaching prices from the hospital's charge master. The completed claim is then sent electronically to your insurance company. This is where the insurer's computers and human reviewers take over. They adjudicate the claim, meaning they decide what to do with it. They run it through software that flags potential errors, mismatches between procedures and diagnoses, or services not covered by your plan. It is a largely automated process designed to scrutinize and often to deny. Finally, the last 3 steps bring the process to your doorstep: payment posting, patient billing, and the explanation of benefits, or EOB. The insurer sends a payment, if any, back to the hospital, along with a detailed explanation of what they covered and why. The hospital's billing office posts this payment to your account. Then, they calculate the remaining balance, your deductible, copay, and coinsurance, and generate the bill that is mailed to you. At roughly the same time, your insurer sends you an EOB. This crucial document is not a bill, but it explains what the insurer paid and what your share is. Comparing the EOB to the hospital bill is your first and best defense. The 9-step assembly line for your medical bill is fragile. It is riddled with opportunities for human and computer error. Estimates suggest that a staggering number of medical bills, some studies say up to 80%, contain mistakes. These are not always attempts to defraud you, but in a system this complex, errors are inevitable. One of the most common problems is simple clerical errors. A misspelled name, a wrong insurance ID number, or an incorrect date of service can get a claim immediately rejected by the insurer, leaving you with the full inflated charge. A single keystroke can cost you thousands of dollars if you do not catch it. Another major source of errors is incorrect coding. Medical coders are under immense pressure to work quickly. They may be working from incomplete notes from a busy doctor. This can lead to upcoding, where a more expensive code is used than what was actually performed, or unbundling, where services that should be grouped together under one price are billed separately to make more money. For example, a surgery might have a single code that includes closing the incision with stitches. An unbundled bill might charge you for the surgery and then add a separate high-priced line item for suture supplies or wound closure, essentially making you pay twice for the same event. Then there are the charges for services you never even received. This can happen for a few reasons. Sometimes, a standard preoperative kit includes items that were not used on you, but you are billed for the entire kit anyway. Other times, a test is ordered, then canceled, but the charge remains on your bill. These are often called phantom charges. It is remarkably common to be billed for a medication you refused or a blood test that was never drawn. Without your own careful records of what happened during your hospital stay, these phantom charges are nearly impossible to identify and dispute. They hide in plain sight among the dozens of other legitimate line items. Finally, a huge area for mistakes lies in network status. You might have carefully chosen a hospital and a surgeon who are in network with your insurance. But what about the anesthesiologist who put you to sleep? Or the radiologist who read your X-ray? These practitioners often work as independent contractors and may not be in your network. This leads to a surprise bill, where you are charged their full, out-of-network rate, which can be astronomical. The hospital has no obligation to tell you which of its staff are in network, leaving you vulnerable to these financial ambushes even when you have done your homework. These cracks in the system are not just accidents, they are features of a fragmented and profit-driven healthcare landscape. When the confusing and likely incorrect bill arrives, do not immediately reach for your checkbook. Instead, reach for a pen and a notebook. Your first action should be to wait for the explanation of benefits, or EOB, from your insurance company. Remember, the EOB is not a bill. It is your insurer's report card on the claim. It details what the provider charged, what your insurance plan agreed to pay, what discounts were applied, and what your final responsibility should be. The hospital bill should match the EOB. If the bill is higher than the patient responsibility shown on the EOB, that is your first red flag. Once you have both the bill and the EOB, it is time to become a detective. Ask the hospital's billing department for an itemized bill. The summary bill they first send you is often useless. You need the detailed, line-by-line version that lists every single charge, complete with its CPT code. Go through this itemized bill with a fine-tooth comb. Compare it to your own notes from your visit. Did you actually receive that medication? Were you in the recovery room for 6 hours, or was it only 2? Look for duplicate charges, like being billed for the same lab test twice on the same day. Question anything that seems illogical, like a charge for a dozen surgical gloves for a simple injection. Do not be afraid to pick up the phone. Call the hospital's billing department. Be polite but firm. Keep a log of every call. Note the date, the time, the name of the person you spoke with, and what was discussed. Start with simple questions. Can you please explain this charge to me? Or can you confirm that this CPT code is correct for a 15-minute consultation? If you find a clear error, like a charge for a service you did not receive, state it clearly and ask for it to be removed. If the charge seems outrageously high, you can ask, "Is this the discounted rate you've agreed upon with my insurance company?" Often, simply questioning a charge is enough to get it reduced or removed. If the billing department is unhelpful, your next call should be to your insurance company. They have a vested interest in not overpaying for services. Explain the discrepancy you found between the bill and the EOB. If you suspect upcoding or unbundling, tell them. Insurers have teams dedicated to investigating fraud and abuse. In some cases, you may need to file a formal appeal with your insurer, especially if they have denied a claim you believe should have been covered. The process can be slow and frustrating, but persistence is key. You are not just a passive recipient of a bill, you are an active participant in ensuring its accuracy. The single most important lesson to learn is that you are not powerless in the face of a medical bill. The American healthcare system has conditioned us to accept its pronouncements without question, but this is a mindset you must reject. Think of the bill not as a final judgment, but as the opening statement in a negotiation. It is an invitation to have a conversation about the value and accuracy of the services provided. The confusion and intimidation baked into the process are designed to prevent this conversation from ever happening. Your job is to start it. Knowledge is your most powerful tool in this process. Building this knowledge starts long before you get sick. Understand the basics of your health insurance plan. What is your deductible? What is your out-of-pocket maximum? What are your copay and coinsurance rates for different services? Knowing these figures helps you anticipate costs and immediately spot a bill that seems wrong. Furthermore, during any medical interaction, become a diligent record keeper. Write down the name of every doctor you see. Note the tests that are performed. If you are in the hospital, have a friend or family member keep a daily log. This personal record is your best evidence when you later need to challenge a phantom charge or an incorrect billing code. Remember that you have legally protected rights as a patient. The No Surprises Act, for example, offers federal protection against many types of surprise out-of-network bills. You have the right to an accurate, itemized bill. You have the right to appeal a denial from your insurance company. If you feel you are getting nowhere, there are outside resources available. State insurance departments, nonprofit patient advocacy groups, and professional medical billing advocates can all provide assistance. You do not have to fight this battle alone. These organizations exist because the system is broken, and they can help you navigate its sharpest edges. Ultimately, decoding your medical bill is about more than just saving money. It is about reclaiming a piece of your power in a system that often leaves patients feeling like passive objects. By questioning, auditing, and negotiating, you send a message that you expect transparency and fairness. Every time a patient successfully challenges an incorrect bill, it puts a small crack in the opaque and dysfunctional status quo. The bill is not the end of the story. It is your cue to step into the ring, armed with information and the conviction that your healthcare should not come with a side of financial ruin. The conversation is yours to start.